triangle, I always pre-frame prevention. So if I'm explaining the triangle, I always want to make sure that it's blatantly obvious that to stay away from ever getting triangled is way better than getting out of a triangle. So if I'm here with Coach Josh, he's pushing one of my arms in. Anytime I have one arm in and one arm out of the range of his legs, I get a little nervous. That generally implies triangle. So once you start to get a sense for that, you see a lot less reaching back and doing things like this. They're going to keep one arm in and one arm out. It's going to be a bad time. So prevention is king. However, let's say Josh gets a good setup, boom, pushes that arm through. My general first option for a triangle defense, and the most important one that I've got, is I keep my elbow and my forearm anchored across at the hip like this, anchored directly across like a belt. I'm going to hold on to this other hand, almost like I have I use a really weird analogy, but almost like I'm stabbing him or something, and I am supporting behind this. All right? The idea is that basically I just want to keep this, I'm not a violent guy like that, but the idea is that I want to keep this arm firm against his abdomen and not allow him to control it and break it. So when I'm in this spot, I want to get my head up, bracing my arms down. Now even if he locks up a little bit tighter, yeah, nice. Now I'm here. I want to get my head up, keep my arms down. If he's holding on to the back of my head, I push his hands off. I want to walk my hips underneath my head, and the top of my head is going to go straight up like it's getting pulled up by a rope or something. Straight up. My head does not dip over, my head comes straight up, my hips are directly underneath my head. So Josh keeps his triangle a little bit tighter. Okay, yep. I'll go boom, 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 boom. Yep, he starts to drive up like this. Once I can feel that his triangle is giving way, what I like to do is what I call like the air guitar with this inside arm. I swing it back, stack them off to the side, which one I can come up and control for my side control. The second one I'll go into is more of like the emergency triangle escape. So let's say Josh got a real tight triangle, and I cannot get posture. He's pulling my neck down. It's a bad time. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to grab the inside of his knee. As I get a grip on the inside of this knee, I use my right elbow right up against his ribs. And I'm prying. I want to create space between my elbow and my shoulder and his knee. I want to stretch all these things apart. So I drive off to my side, and just at the point that his knee touches the ground, I really kind of explode all that pressure. So I'm here, he's squeezing me, I pry apart. Generally, this alone will break the legs. Now, in order to stay safe, there's a couple things I can do. The first one I prefer is pulling this elbow out, or when I come back on top and control for the position. One more time and more of this emergency triangle escape. We're here, I cannot get posture, which would be preferable, but I can't. So I pull, break the space, pull this elbow out, and I settle right back on top. Really stretching, I want this to be the pressure. Prying his knee away, prying my elbow into that rib cage, and then by the time the knee hits the mat, boom, should break that triangle grip, pull that arm to safety, come right back on top for a good side control.